Brought to you by the Madison Healthplex and Performance Center. 95,000, 96,000 square feet. They have everything you want. Big workout facility, aquatic center, boot camp, one-on-one training. You name it, they got it at the Madison Healthplex and Performance Center, 463 in Madison. Jake Wimberly joining me in the Bank Plus studio this morning. Drive at 5 to 6, Monday through Friday, except he will not be on tomorrow, obviously. But Jay White and Jake will do a show on Friday afternoon from 4 to 5:30 leading up to Mississippi State basketball. And Jake, the game day show, one more. Is it this Saturday?
Yeah, this will be it. This is the last one.
Cool.
So we've had a good time with it, and
It's a great slot.
Yeah, it is. We're gonna continue to build it and continue to work at it in the off season. So we're looking forward to what the future holds with that. Had a really good time. A lot of interaction on Saturdays.
People are ready. They're in a great mood. They're either going to the store to buy beer and food, or they're going to Oxford and Starkville. Mm-hmm. That whole game day thing is that's a good slot.
Yeah.
Big Ten.
Glad to be there. And
he started that.
Shout out to him, too, because he really helped us get off the ground in the summer with this thing.
Yeah.
So,
he's a great guy.
Yeah, he is. Super guy.
Dr. Steve Cochise.
Mm-hmm. He did a really good job helping us do that.
So one more game day show, and then you'll take a break till next August.
On the game day show.
Yeah, I mean, I know you're still doing Drive at 5.
Yep.
All right. And let me recap real quick what you said on high school football, and then we'll get into the SEC Insider Hit and the Egg Bowl and Mississippi State. Now, Pearl Petal and Madison Central Clinton. Just tell me which way you're going on those two games again.
If I had to pick,
Yeah.
wouldn't surprise me for it to go any way, one way or the other. Have to take Clinton.
Yeah.
I mean,
best player in the state.
best player in the state. Now, what's crazy is Madison Central has a really good quarterback, too, in Jack Walker. He'll play Division I football.
That's right.
So you've got to
I feel like he's been there for 6 years.
Yeah, it seems like Walker has.
He's like Minshew.
Yeah.
You know, when Minshew started in 9th grade, by the time he was in 11th and 12th, you're like, this guy's been here forever.
Yeah, it seems that way always when these guys start young.
Yeah.
But when they're that good, they're going to start young. But Clinton, a little more explosive. Obviously, like you said, you're putting the ball in the best player in the state's hands. And he's shown under the biggest moments, he shows out. Like a lot of these guys.
Sure.
That's why they're 4-star, 5-star guys. Pearl, obviously, if you had to give a coaching advantage, I mean, you have to give it to Petal just because of Marcus Bulls and everything that he's done. I mean, you're talking about a guy
He's been there, and he's done it a lot.
Taylorsville,
He's
Wayne County.
He's a top 5 coach in the state.
No doubt.
Probably top 3. He and Peterson may have been 1 and 2, and now I'm not sure where I'd go, but he's there in the top 3.
But Pearl is doing something special, and they're playing at such a high level right now.
What is Pearl? Are they good on offense or defense or both?
A little bit of both. They've got a tailback, 6'1", 215. I can't remember the kid's name, but he's really good. He's a junior. They've got several junior playmakers, especially on the edge, that if you get them the football, they can go. And defensively, they are really quick. They're a little undersized, just a little, but they are scrappy quick, and they will get after you. And, of course, over the last couple of weeks, we've seen them get after Meridian twice, Brandon. I mean, they're beating teams that's not even close.
How did Meridian do this year?
Meridian ended up 10-3, I believe, on the season. So they
Well,
have
I
a nice
could go
year.
10-3 at Meridian.
Yeah, they've got a lot of talent.
Okay.
A lot of talent at Meridian.
All right. So we'll see what they've underachieved the last 7 or 8 years.
Oh, yeah, no doubt.
And we'll see if they can get it together. Their culture was rotten and so on. We'll see if they can get it together there.
So I'm taking Pearl,
and
I'm taking Clinton.
which would give us a Metro
Championship.
in Davis Wade.
Yep.
All right. Jake made a great point earlier. If that game was at Veterans Memorial Stadium, record attendance, because Brandon already did it once. What was that, about 4 years ago, Jake? 5 years ago? Okay.
2012.
And, hey, speaking of Minshew, how's he doing?
Man, he's doing good. You know, East Carolina, I actually had a chance to watch them on Saturday. As a team, they're very, very average. I think they've won 3 or 4 games. But he's had an opportunity just due to some injuries, kind of like Prescott, some opportunity.
Right.
He's had a really nice year. Really, really nice year in East
That
Carolina.
kid is a great story.
He is, and he's got 2 more years up there. Look for him to do some big things. If they can put some defensive talent on that team,
Right.
and
They can go bowling a couple of times.
there's no doubt. Yeah, they can win 7,
because they've
8
been
ball games.
bowling within the last 10 years several times.
Yeah, they can be a competitor, in the AAC.
What a great story. And Minshew, who played at Brandon, he's just a winner. And he's just Phil, like ultra uber competitive.
Yeah.
You've been around him a
Yeah.
lot. I mean, he's wired like that, right? I mean,
his whole family's that way.
oh, okay. Okay.
Yeah. Yeah. And that's
That's what it takes.
what it takes. And I mean, if you're around him or his dad,
I mean,
or
he and
you're-
Brad put that program on their shoulders and just said, "We're tired of losing.
Yeah.
We roll out 100 players. We have plenty of athletes. Why have we not been relevant the last 20 years in high school football?"
And he's one of the hardest working guys that you'll ever see.
That's what you and Brad told me.
Yeah, you talked to his position coach.
He reminds me of like a Drew Brees at the high school level. He just was just a grinder worker
Never
all the
stops.
time.
Yep.
I'm proud of him. I'm happy for him. Where did he stop at JUCO real quick?
Northeast Mississippi.
Basically had a cup of coffee there and then boom to East Carolina.
Won a state, won a national title there. And that was because, remember, EMCC got
Disqualified.
disqualified for the fight on the field.
That's right.
So they got a chance to go play, and they won a national championship. So, I mean, he's just
I watched David Morris. He's a quarterback coach. I watched him work out Minshew a couple of years ago. It was so intense, first of all. I'd never really watched a QB one-on-one training session at that level between a kid that talented and a guy that talented. And, Morris played at Ole Miss and just happened to play behind Eli Manning, but he's coached a bunch of college and NFL dudes. Watching those two watching him work out Minshew was serious.
I bet it was.
It was pretty awesome for me to see that. And that kid is kudos to him. Let's talk. Why isn't Mississippi State playing hard? I mean, isn't that pretty simple? If you're bad, you're bad. But effort. Here's the deal. As prestigious as scholarships are this day and age, I mean, an Ole Miss and Mississippi State scholarship's worth about $40,000 a year. Okay, I'm talking food, books, tuition, all the cool gear, travel. You get everything you need.
Mm-hmm.
So there's not many of them. It's a big deal to play at MSU and Ole Miss today, much bigger than 25, 30 years ago. Why aren't they playing hard?
I don't know.
Because you've been doing a bunch of film study on that.
Yeah, it looks like to me laziness. And I hate to just frame it up that way.
Right.
But it just looks lazy. It's lazy football. And a lot of Mississippi State fans, you can go several different ways with this. Get rid of Peter Sermon, get somebody new in there. And then, of course, if you show that it's effort, well, shouldn't the coaches be accountable for the effort? But here's the way I look at it. These guys aren't in 7th grade.
Right.
Where you're out here at the local park and you're trying to, get them motivated to get off the tablet, get off the iPhone and play ball, instead of eating Skittles and ice cream.
Sure.
These guys are 19, 18, 19, 20, 21 years old.
Sure.
They should be self-motivated, but it looks very lazy to me. And I don't know if it's because I've said this. I think it's leadership. There's not a leader on this team.
Not one.
Not one.
Now, Fitz may be one later.
Yeah.
But as far as the juniors and he's not a junior or senior. Juniors or seniors, there's nothing.
Interestingly
Talking
enough,
about.
I'll have Mario Hagan in studio today.
Oh, cool.
And I want to get his take on it because I've seen he's become pretty vocal on social media about it.
Should be. Let me look at that.
And I don't know if it's on Twitter or Facebook. You can check his Twitter out.
There he is.
But he's been fairly vocal. And I've seen other guys too, Jonathan Banks and several other former Mississippi State players, basically, and I'm paraphrasing, saying, hey, when I come to campus, we're going to have a talking to with this defense. Like, what's going on? There's no leadership. And I think that goes a long way into this.
Yeah.
I mean, you hear all these stories.
Arkansas didn't punt. Can I say that enough?
That's crazy. I mean, I don't know if I've ever seen that in a football game.
Didn't punt.
Can't believe that.
I hope our listeners understand. For those of you that may have been busy or use sports or just catching bits and pieces of the games, both Ole Miss and MSU last weekend, Arkansas, I'm not kidding when I say this, Jake and I are, the Razorbacks did not punt once. So their punter just made the trip, and he hung out on the sideline all night.
I mean, that's baffling.
Yeah.
Not one time. You didn't stop them once.
How does that happen?
Well,
No,
it goes back to what it's a combination of two things. It's leadership and effort.
I did.
And
I never thought
moment I saw
I didn't
that-
think I'd see A.J. Jefferson
I
not
know.
get into plays. He decided to take some time off too Saturday night.
The moment that I saw this all kind of cultivate and happen was when Brandon Bryant, I hate to call the kid out, but it is what it is, whenever they were playing Auburn.
They're not kids; they're SEC football players.
Okay, yeah. So I'm calling them out. Petway's running for Auburn. He's scoring a touchdown. And I remember when Bryant just kind of pulls up, his
Yeah, no, he
5-yard
had
line.
him squared up. Do you remember that play?
Oh, yeah.
They were inside
Stop.
the 20. They were going into the opposite end zone of the new end zone. And Bryant had, it may have been Riley Williams III. It may have been one of the other 18 backs that was running all over him.
Right.
But he squared him up. And by the end, he was inside maybe the 15-ish, somewhere in there. And Bryant squared him up and just kind of.
Let him go.
I do remember
Well,
that.
it was kind of like touch football.
Yeah, it's like I'm going to pull up, maybe just, if I can just push him out of bounds, I can do it. But
Right.
If not, who cares?
Between that one and the one where the one where I'm talking about where he's chasing Petway, I mean, they're around the 10-yard line, and then Brian just pulls up. Petway just goes in untouched. I mean, he at least could have hit him. I'm not saying Petway wouldn't have scored, but at least make an attempt. Don't just stop at the 10-yard line. That's it. When fans see that, they hate it. Why? I'm not here to root for someone who's going to do that. It's hard enough.
And I don't know why that's going to change in 1 week.
I don't either. I don't think it will.
not.
I mean, people who dream that up,
Yeah.
You've been watching this all year. Why is that going to change in 5 days?
Think about this, too. I like Lee's score of the Egg Bowl. I've actually got it, and I'll just throw this out there, 40-31 Ole Miss, because if you're in that Ole Miss camp and you watch that Mississippi State film and you see already how quick Ole Miss wants to go with Shea Patterson, in the film room, you could say, guys, they don't give any effort. If you give effort and
you win.
Shea just push, you're going to beat them because they're going to lay it. They're going to lay down.
They'll make Akeem Judd look like Emmitt Smith.
Yeah.
And he's solid.
And I've said this all year. If Ole Miss gets a chance to hang 70 on Mississippi State, they're going to do it.
Because we don't know what Freeze's future looks like with the NCAA
Right.
deal coming down in the spring. I agree. This may be, I don't want to say, well, it could be his legacy game to a certain extent. Obviously, he's played in the Sugar Bowl and the Peach Bowl and the other bowls that Music City or whatever else. But this could be, you just don't know if the sanctions are as severe as some people think, this could be it. Or he may just coach under suspension, but show calls, who knows?
Yeah.
I mean, an athletic trainer at Notre Dame got a show calls. What does that tell you the NCAA's doing today?
That tells me they have totally changed how they approach this thing. I saw that yesterday, and I thought the same thing. I thought, man, these guys are getting serious.
You know, in the women's track and field and women's hoops, the NCAA went 6 for 6 on Ole Miss coaches. In other words, all 6 Ole Miss coaches who were in the notice of allegations received show causes.
Wow, I did
6
not
for
know
6. Let's take a break. That was the SEC Insider Hit, mixed in with some, hey, Cam Akers is an SEC recruit. So
He's going to be an SEC player.
Ole Miss, LSU, Georgia, or Ohio State for Cam Akers. That was the SEC Insider Hit, brought to you by the Madison Healthplex and Performance Center. Tour it this week or next week. You will love it. It's a beautiful facility, great place to work out. They have something for everyone, whether you're in elementary school, college, an adult, or over 60 years old. The Madison Healthplex and Performance Center. Jake Wimberly, Drive at 5 in the Bank Plus studio this morning. ESPN 105.9 The Zone. We're talking rivalry week and the battle for the Golden Egg. Our audience and our listeners, we want to say good morning to our radio and digital partners. The show is brought to you by the ProCoat Spray and Bed Liners. The ProCoat Spray and Bed Liners at RPT and Rick's Pro Truck. Their I-55 South location, Lakeland Drive, Flowood. Jake Wimberly is in the Bank Plus studio with me today. He hosts the Drive at 5 on ESPN 105.9 The Zone. He'll be on today with Mario Hagan in studio. And then Jay White and Jake will do their show on Thursday from 4 to 5:30. Chris Brooks will be on from 12 to 2 with the Gridiron. And that's where we are. We'll have a bunch of, we've got so much stuff on ESPN 105.9 The Zone the next 4 days. Rogers loaded it up with games. And then Mississippi State, we'll have the Egg Bowl on ESPN 105.9 The Zone. The pregame starts like Thursday night, and then the game is at 2:30 on Saturday. Drew, we're giving away 2 more SEC championship game tickets brought to you by the official soft drink of the Southeastern Conference, Dr. Pepper. And how are we giving the tickets away today?
We're asking them to tweet in with their best college football game experience. And
Nice.
then we need them to hashtag Dr. Pepper as well in their tweet.
Nice. I like it. Okay. Hashtag Dr. Pepper.
Right.
Tweet to @BoBounds. And Your best game experience?
Correct.
All right. And it can be any. Let's just go ahead and throw it out. Are we going to make it football only?
Well, we said college football.
Let's do college football. I like
just in the spirit of the SEC championship game being college
It's a
football.
tough one, man. 1998 SEC championship game was wild. Mississippi State and Tennessee. Tennessee would go on to win the national championship over Florida State.
First BCS championship.
That's right. That's right. The SEC won the first one, and T. Martin and Philip Fulmer beat Bobby Bowden. They were underdogs, actually. People forget that. You know where I watched some of that game? You'll get a kick out of this. These guys were in elementary school, but Timeout Sports.
Yeah.
Remember that bar?
Yeah.
On Old Canton
Yeah.
Road?
That thing
Is it
was
still there?
Still kicking.
Is it?
No,
really?
it's not anymore.
Really?
I don't think so.
I
I think I
lived
drove
over
by
there.
to something else. I think somebody's taking over. Maybe another Mexican restaurant or something, but
Time.
That was the
one of
precursor.
93 in the metro area.
Yeah, that was the precursor place to go before the dock. Like you would go
Yes.
there, have a couple drinks,
Right.
and then take off to the dock.
No doubt. That and look, they in the 90s, that place was cool.
It was.
And,
remember
they had
watching-
good bar food.
They did. I remember watching.
Well, at that point, in that stage of my life, I'm not sure I knew what good bar food was.
Right.
But I thought it was good bar food.
at the time, it was really good.
Yes.
I remember watching several of the Yankees World Series wins from that
Jeter
bar.
and all them?
Mhm, from that bar.
Yeah.
Yep.
We were probably in there at the same time. Just
Probably.
didn't know each other.
Yeah.
But that I can remember that. Martin dropped that pass down the sideline. It was so pretty against Florida State. And I just thought, what is this guy doing? But he followed Peyton Manning, and nobody gave the kid any credit, yet he was one heck of a football. You know, he's still coaching out at Southern Cal.
I did not know that.
I want to say, Jake, he's the wide receivers coach. I could be wrong. I think he's the wide receivers coach for Southern Cal. And his wife is, now he may have been let go last year through all that craziness with Sark, but he was for several years. And his wife's she's trying to be an aspiring actress or something like that. Anyway, I thought I'd drop that knowledge on our listeners. I'm sure they
All
will.
right.
It's very good.
Yeah, T. Martin, Southern Cal assistant
Yeah.
coach. That's some hot garbage right there. Okay, you've got it. What'd you say? 40-31.
Yeah. Ole Miss.
I've got it 45-28.
I
Ole
can see
Miss.
that.
And I'm still not sure that MSU's going to score like either MSU or Ole Miss fans think they will.
Right.
Here's where Dave Womack is. There's two reasons why Ole Miss has won this game the last 2 years. Explosive plays on offense. It's real simple. All you have to do is bring it up. If you just scan the box score for 20 seconds, it's explosive plays on offense, and their D-line, it's that too. And the D-line has dominated the O-line. The Ole Miss D-line has dominated the Mississippi State offensive line. They just got smarter.
That's it. The last 2 years. You're right.
Yeah.
That's literally what the game has come down to. Ole Miss has been able to press Mississippi State offensively, and if they could do that the last couple years, they're going to do that Saturday. I can promise you.
So that's going to be difficult for Fitz in a stadium that will be packed and loud. And so you really have to wonder if they are going to move the ball like so many people think they can just because they scored a bunch. And by the way, Arkansas's defense was awful.
Yeah.
They should have scored more points.
They should have. And that's the thing. If Mississippi State ends up having to punt a couple times and then finds themselves like in that Arkansas game down early.
21-0?
Yeah.
21-3?
Yeah.
Well, no, they can't kick field goal. So
No.
you got to go for it on fourth down. I think going into the game, you decide, unless they're inside the 10, you go for it on fourth down
Every time.
every time.
Yep. I mean, why not?
Yeah, you got a better chance of maybe Fitz running around for his life than kicking and converting a field goal. Man, that miss against Arkansas looked like me.
Oh, it was, I remember.
Crap sandwich.
It was at least 20 yards left.
Yeah.
No, I mean, yeah.
No, he kicked it right
That's
at
not
me.
exaggerating.
I was up in the scoreboard level. The ball ended up, I thought I was going to catch it.
I mean, that was like a bad.
And I was 20 yards right to his left, but right of the field goal.
I mean, that looks like a golf shot I would hit.
Oh, no doubt.
where you
yeah,
just
duck
pull it.
Same here.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
It was bad.
I still got 4 years.
Well, I mean, there was that gentleman at South Carolina State that went back and played.
55 years old.
Yeah.
What?
He got a
didn't see
3-yard
that?
carry over the weekend.
He sure did. Oldest man to ever get a carry in college.
I'm with
football.
it. I'm
My
with it.
son was pulling it up on YouTube.
That's
and
awesome.
He kept talking about him. I was going, "What are you talking about?" He goes, "That guy's 55 years old." His son's an NFL player.
I think so. Yeah.
I want to say his son is playing in the NFL right now.
So it's in the blood.
Yeah.
That's the definition of old man strength.
Yeah.
That is
That's
old
the
man strength.
definition of. Is that Jason Witten? Yes.
Well, he's not old yet.
Yes, he is.
He's only 34.
Okay.
He's not old.
Hold on. I'm pulling it up since you guys won't. Joe Thomas.
Yes.
Joe Thomas becomes the oldest player in Division I history, and his son is okay. His son plays for the Green Bay Packers. He's a linebacker, Joe Thomas Jr.
Sounded familiar.
How about that?
That's crazy.
That's pretty cool, isn't it?
Yeah.
And he had a 3-yard, rushing for 3 yards. Hey, he got 3 yards. That's more than Brandon Holloway.
Yeah. Hey, Brandon Holloway will be back this weekend, so that should
Well,
make
you got him. You got to
All
run
right.
him. You got to run him between. You got to waste at least 5 to 6 offensive reps.
Yeah, this is it for him.
You're
anyway.
the underdog.
Yep.
So Greg Knox has to run him up Jamal Claiborne or Devin Desper's butt cheek so that you can at least waste 6 offensive reps and put, because you want to put Fitzgerald behind the chains.
Yeah.
And give him second or third and 12.
It sounds good to me. They've done it all year long.
Yeah,
anyway.
that's a good way to get past Benito Jones and DJ Jones. All right, hour number 2 coming up. Jake Wimberly, Bo Bounds, live in the Bank Plus studio. You're listening to Out of Bounds, brought to you by the C Spire iPhone